and welcome to More Math. Today we are going to talk about integers, positives, negatives, and opposites. So let's start off by thinking football, specifically American football for my international friends. No, we're not talking about soccer. Sorry, we will, but today it's American football. So let's say the quarterback's having a really great day, right? He fades back, he tosses that ball, the receiver catches it, they get 4 yards. How could I show that on this little picture I've drawn here? Why don't you get a piece of paper and a pencil and do the same with me? Lessons are no fun to just watch. Grab some paper and do it with me. You'll learn more, I promise. All right, so we could draw our little 0 line here. He throws the ball, and we could just do a nice simple, it went 4 yards, right? Nice. Hey, quarterback's feeling pretty confident here. He's going to try the exact same thing. He grabs the ball, he fades back to pass, but you know what? The other team's pretty smart. They caught him. This time, they tackle him. He lost 2 yards this time. How would we show that? Oh, I got ahead of the game, gave you the answer before you had a chance to do it. Sorry about that. But we're going to go the other direction. We're going to say they lost 2 yards. Okay. Your turn. On your piece of paper, quarterback, he realizes his mistake. Time to change things up a little bit. Takes that ball, passes it off to his running back, takes off, he gets 10 yards. On your piece of paper, show me how would you draw this same situation, but he gained 10 yards. What would you do? Nice. Yeah, we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to go out a little farther here and get all the way to a plus 10. Nice job. So it's really easy to show a positive movement and a negative movement. If we think about here's where we're starting, and this is how much we went forward and we went back. Let's do one more negative just because it's symmetrical and it makes me feel better. So let's say he passes it off to the running back fades back because he's going to go all the way around, gets caught, he loses 6 yards. What happens? How do we show that? Yeah, you got this. This is old hat, no problem. We're just going to show a -6 here. Beautiful job. All right, so we've shown some positive integers. We've shown some negative integers. Integers. It's a good word. What does it mean? Yeah, an integer, we're going to give a simple definition today. An integer is just a counting number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Its opposite, what is the opposite of 1? Nice job, -1, -1. And 0. So integers are your positive counting numbers, your negative numbers, and 0. So I want to ask you, what is the opposite of this +4? What integer is the opposite of that +4? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. -4. Good job. Well, what would the opposite of the -2 be? I can't trick you for trying. Good job. +2. Let's do these last two. Wait a minute. I'm going to pause. You take a minute. Do the last two on your paper. I know, easy, but do it. Trust me. Good job. All right, so we said the opposite of that +10 is a -10. We said the opposite of the -6 is a +6. So we understand that an integer is any number that I can count with, no decimals, no fractions, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up through infinity. Those numbers, they're opposites, so all those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and 0. That's an integer. Good job, good job. All right, now I am going to trick you. You've told me the opposite of all these numbers. What's the opposite of 0? Is there a +0? Is there a -0? Nope. I didn't trick you at all, did I? You knew it was just 0. Good job. I tell you, I tried though. So we understand that an integer has the positive numbers and the negative numbers and 0. We can show those on a number line. So here's our number line. Do you like my pretty number line? We've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's enough. It's boring to watch me draw numbers. So if I say to you, my friend, would you please, on that number line that I know you drew on your paper because you're following along with me and not just watching, you're being an active participant in your education. Nice job. Would you please mark 3 would you please graph the number 3 on your number line? Easy, they say, Mrs. Moore. We just draw a circle right there. And I say, you're amazing. Nice job. And now I say, what is the opposite of that 3? And you say, well, that's easy. We already know it's a -3. Can you graph that on the number line? -3. Do you see how this number line just totally correlates with that picture we had a minute ago? That when he went forward 3 yards, it's the 3 on the number line? Nice job. And if he got caught, if he got sacked and lost 4 yards, that would be the -4 on the number line. So these numbers here totally just correlate with the number line that we have going down here. It's all just a picture. Our brain works really good with pictures. Really well with pictures? Probably. And so we like to have this picture of a number line to help us see where those numbers fall. So the number line we just drew is called a horizontal number line. It goes this way. Horizontal. Horizontal. Horizon. Do you ever see in the horizon when you are off camping and you look, the sun, it shall rise. Here's the horizon and the sun comes up. Horizontal is the horizon. It means it's flat like this to the earth. Now we're going to talk about a vertical number line. So if the vertical goes straight up and down. So when would we need a vertical number line? Well, let's say it's summer. We have enjoyed cliff driving, where you go over to the lake and you jump off the cliff into the water. People do that. Not me, but that's okay. I hear some people do. So let's say, I want to remind you that I teach math, not art, and there's a reason. All right, so here's my cliff, and it comes down into the water, and here's the water. Yeah, like I said, math, not art, right? And so we're going to call this 0. Okay? And so now we go up the cliff. We're going to draw I'm going to draw another number line this way. Oh, such a straight line I can draw. All right. So at 0, when we get up here, we find that we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is at 6 feet. So here you are, not me, because I'm not crazy, getting ready to run and jump. And you're jumping off the cliff, and you're going down into the water, and you make it all the way down to, let's say you get all the way down to here. And you're swimming underwater, and you're about to go give a friend a hard time and scare him. You'll pretend you're a shark. It'll be fun. So there you are. So where did you start? You started at 6 feet above the water. You are on the number line at 6 plus 6. After you dove, you went underwater. Now you are below 0. And where below are you? You're down here at -8. So do you see how the number line just works the same way? If I go up, it's positive. If I go down, it's negative. Pretty simple. All right. Really, just a quick point. That's my favorite. We'll talk about this more next time. But my favorite vertical number line, I'm just going to draw it in right here, is a thermometer. If you think about it, if this is 0 degrees and, this is 10 degrees and this is -5 degrees, if you think about it, a thermometer is a very beautiful negative number line. So we'll talk about that more later, but just something to think about. We have our number line again. We have 0 to 1. But wait, what's all that in the middle there? This is how we plot decimals, right? So if I should say to you, could you please graph for me on that number line 0.4? It's not 4. It's not going to go way over there on 4. It's 0.4. And we'll talk about decimals more, but I know you've been introduced to those already. So 0.4, we're going to have 0.1. It's just going to go right there. It is 4/10 of the way to one whole. Just want to point out, we can easily graph fractions and decimals on a number line. We'll practice that more later, but I want you to start thinking. There are so many possibilities. Number lines are great. So there's one more thing I want to talk about with this number line real quick, and that is I want to know if you can see a pattern. Do you see a pattern here? So here we have -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For right now, we're going to ignore this part of the number line. If we start here, if it says 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what's the pattern? What do you see? How is that increasing? We're adding 1 every time, right? I know it's easy, but if we say it out loud, we really know it. I mean, we've always assumed that and we're aware of it, but by saying it out loud, we know it. And that just helps us to understand things a little better. So our pattern is the number line is just increasing by 1 every time. Perfect. Does that pattern hold true for the negative numbers? So for our positive numbers, we're just adding 1 and getting bigger. Is it doing the same thing for the negative numbers? If we start at 0 and move to the left, are they doing that? They're not, are they? So this time we're subtracting 1 each time, right? So our pattern, we're increasing or decreasing by 1, but it's -1, -1, -1 as we move away from 0. 0 minus 1 is -1. -1 minus 1 is -2. And it just keeps going. Okay. Can we make one pattern for the whole number line? And we can. And we'll get into it more later, so you may be like, I don't know what she's talking about. And that's okay. It's okay. I'm just kind of introducing something here, right? So if we have a -5 and we add 1, we get -4. And we add 1, we get -3. And we add 1, we get -2. And we add 1, we get -1. We add 1, we get 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The number line is always increasing. And how is it always increasing? It is always increasing from left to right. In other words, the farther to the right that we go, we are getting bigger. So the opposite is true, correct? We're going to go to the left, and we are getting smaller. So our integers compare by as we go to the right, we get bigger, and as we go to the left, we get smaller. Okay. All right, I just want to do a little review. We're just going to use this little number line I have set up here. And I would like you, please, on your paper, can you just graph a -4? Is that a skill that we mastered? I think so. Here is our -4. Okay, good job, good job. Let's see if I can trick you this time. Would you please graph the opposite of -5? Oh, I didn't get you, did I? You said, well, if I have -5, the opposite is going to be what? It's going to be a +5. Good job. We're going to learn some notation about that here pretty soon. So another question. Here I have the number 3. How many units away from 0 is 3? 1, 2, 3. What is the opposite? -3. How many units away from 0 is -3? 3. I think we should draw a line there so we don't get confused. All right, just checking. How many units away from 0 is 0? Yeah, none. It's just 0. Right. Good job. All right. All right. Here's the brain buster. Are you ready? Can you tell me what is the opposite of 2? I like to see those brains thinking. Good job. All right, so we have a 2. What's the opposite of 2? -2. What is the opposite of -2? It's the negative of a -2. Nice job. Nice job. I really appreciate you joining me today. I hope you feel you learned something about integers.